Hi everybody, I'm Shah from CharliesAngelTarot and welcome back to the channel. This is a written review because I'm doing a review on the Low Rider Tarot, and I've been corresponding with Melissa Witherspoon, and she was good enough to write an answer on my questions. So I've never done a written interview before, because usually I have the person opposite me on Skype or Zoom. But Melissa is a very approachable lady, but she's also a very private lady. And anybody that orders the deck, they have contact, because she said I like to keep in contact or be in contact with the people that purchase the deck. You can find her on Edgy and also on her own website if you want to order the deck. I've had such a fantastic response. I've never ever had 90 views on an review, so that is amazing in itself. It usually takes a couple of months. Like the Shadowlands, they had a lot of hits, and the Enchanted Dream Tarot, that is from Shiver Red Feather. No, this is a lady that I met in a very mystical and magical way. Now, you've seen the photo of my Jessalina, my Jessie. She's in the video from all of the readings this week, because I used the Low Rider Tarot, and I also used the Aurum Lenormand, which is also by Melissa and her son McLaughlin, which is a lovely name, and he's also very arty. So let's get into the interview. I'm really honored that I can do this, and I'm also honored that it's come in a magical way. And it's actually, it shows me that I've just realized that Jazz, my dog, is also a guide to me, even in the other world, that she's still with me, and she's here because Matus and the cat has been screaming for days, the last couple of days. So she has been here sort of supporting me, doing this interview and doing the review with the cards, the Daxi cards. And she's also, Millie has been even barking at nothing, and you can't see it, but you can feel it. They are more sensitive, even more sensitive than I am to the energy, and I think it is just because everything was quiet and they just started to cry and bark. So that is magical. And Jess met Melissa's dog Stella, and the Stella is the one that motivated Melissa to get the deck done. That is the story. So those two ladies, our ladies, they met up in heaven, and I know there is a dog heaven, and this has confirmed it, and it has confirmed a lot more. So this interview, this review, lies very, very in close, or rather within my heart. It just makes me emotional as well. And I just wanted to share this with you, not because it's such a wonderful deck, but also because it's a wonderful story, and it's a true story, and it just goes to show there's much more between heaven and earth. And for those that have lost a dog or a cat or a rat or a mouse or a hamster, know that they are still with you, okay? They are guiding you in their own way. When you get a new thought and it is about them or what they used to do, that is them saying hello to you. The first question that I asked Melissa was it you that thought up the tarot doxies on Instagram and your website? I'll just go through the questions so you know when I'm reading her answers what the questions were. Who thought of calling the tarot the Low Rider Dachshund Tarot? Who designed the back of the cards? How many dogs do you have now? Are they all Daxies? How many decks have you made up till now? Is it 4 or more? I know you also do Lenormand, as I love the Aurum Lenormand as well. Your latest Lenormand, which one is that? Is that the Rustic Roots Lenormand? This has a real Canadian feeling. Do you live in Canada and in the mountains? How old were you when you started making tarot and Lenormand cards? You say Stella and Jessie, the dogs, Jesselina she was called, but short Jessie, are talking. I believe that as well. That is why our path must have crossed. You worked through your grief by making this deck. I just don't have that talent, although I used to paint with oil. That's me. As you know, my talent is tarot and Lenormand and psychic abilities. You do really well. How long have you been a reader? Have you any other paranormal or psychic abilities? Do you also have Wiccan or pagan or talents? And those were the few questions that I asked, and some of the stuff just resonates with me, you know. It's like in some ways we have a parallel life. So Melissa's answer to the questions. Sorry this has taken so long. It's been a busy, exhausting time in the pandemic. The pandemic is making me feel like I'm moving in slow motion these days. Well, Melissa, if you are watching, you're not the only one. Sometimes my feet feel like lead and I can't get moving on slow motion. I can understand and relate to that. I'm totally connecting with who you are now, because we did converse backwards and forwards a couple of times. I came up with the name Lowrider for this deck because I liked both the reference to the Dachshund and the Rider Waite Smith name, which the designs are based on. The backing of these cards was done digitally. I wanting something both cosmic and reversible. It looks like an infinity symbol. Don't you think it's lovely? And the head of a Daxie, short-head Daxie, which Stella was. I created this deck as a series of paintings, working digitally in oil paints over the course of 6 months. That's very quick. There are readers that do take years, using any spare time to devote to this work. As a backer of many projects on Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is a platform that you can put out your idea and ask people to support it. It's like crowdfunding. And with friends who are tarot creators themselves. I figured I too would try to get this funded through Kickstarter. I was very pleased that it was successful. The deck was an expensive one to create, due to the larger dimensions of the book and the box. Now this box is fantastic. Shiver has beautiful boxes, but this is really the cream or the icing of the cake, because you can see it's foam, and when they come through the post, none of the cards are destroyed. It's foam. It's the first one. Can you take it out? Yes, you can take it out. So that is what I found amazing on this deck. Let me get back. It was expensive to create due to the larger dimensions of the book and box. But my focus here was not on profit, but on bringing something to the tarot world which might potentially help people the way Stella and the creation of the paintings helped me. She did this so she would work through her mourning of Stella. I'm owned by 5 Dachshunds, 2 of them standards and 3 of them are miniatures. They are all featured in this deck: Bentley, Sydney, Phoebe, Bronte and George. Stella is also in this deck. This deck was a kind of a gateway in creating decks, which I wasn't at all expecting. I'm also the creator of the Aurum Lenormand, which was a collaboration with my very artistic teenage son Lachlan, and another Lenormand deck called Rustic Roots, which has a Canadian cabin kind of feel. I've also created 2 editions of the Lonely Dreamer Tarot, which is based on the incredibly artwork of the French symbolist artist Odilon Redon. I've never heard of him, but the deck looks really lovely, and you can find that on Edgy as well. I'm currently working on a Redon inspired oracle deck with an incredible collaborator, artist and researcher based out of the UK named Tora Matthews. I'm really looking forward to bringing that project to fruition in the coming months, and that will be new this year. I am an indie creator. I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it before, but an indie creator means that they publish the card, make the cards themselves, they publish the cards themselves, and they have the whole say how to produce them, who posts them, who does the painting or promotes them or publishes them. That is an indie creator, so they have all control over the cards. Like if you go to a publisher, the publisher will say, well, we want this and we want that, and you've got nothing to bring in. That's what it means. I was approached by a publisher who wanted to take on the 2nd edition of the Lonely Dreamer, but ultimately I wanted to be part of the entire creating process and maintain connections with my followers. I started reading tarot in my mid-teens. My best friend and I each had the Raya Waits deck, the RWS deck, and we would pull cards for each other every day. Tarot was always something that just came naturally to me. It didn't occur to me to design a deck until I needed to process the grief from losing Stella. I have not entered any contests, because that was one of my questions as well, because you can enter competitions on cards, design, author, whatever. I have used cards from Yasmin. She's a recognized author, and she's got bronze, and I think she's also got gold. But let's carry on with this. I have not entered any contests or looked to win any prizes with my decks. They are a labor of love, and I just wanted people to enjoy them and get what they needed from them. I'm not one to enjoy a big spotlight. I told you she was private. Nor am I one to fully understand how to use social media properly. To promote myself, haha. No. I think the cards will do that, Melissa. I rely on word of mouth. That's the best advertising, because then you know you've got a good one there, a good reader or a good book or a good author. Like I said, or she said, word of mouth. And right now, that is good enough for me. Ah, Jez, that's my dog. Dearest little heart, kiss kiss. I don't do workshops in art or drawing. I'm actually the head of my arts department at my high school, and although I teach all art subjects, visual art is one of my favorites to teach. I do not do readings on YouTube. I do private readings through Etsy. I take my time and type those up for clients. So she does typed replies. I'm clairvoyant when I'm not overstressed. Haha. I can relate to that because doing readings does drain you enormously. And if you don't have the energy to read, then you shouldn't read. You're quite right. And I have been visited by close family and pets who have passed. I find mediumship work fulfilling. Yes, I do as well. But it can be exhausting too. I can't say I would fit myself into a box, spiritually or religiously. No, I don't like being put in cubby holes either. I respect that. My beliefs and thoughts are always changing, and I just try to go with what is working for me and keep an open heart and mind. Boom, bingo, yes. I have some favorite quartz crystals that I'm drawn to and enjoy meditation, but I'm not a regular practitioner. I do use candles a lot for mediumship. This is the answer on pagan ways or something like that. So, I do use candles a lot for mediumship. Healing from loss is so hard. We are afraid to be in a state of discomfort for very long. It helped me to transmute my grief into something that could help others. In this way, I feel that loss turned into light. And that is beautiful. Yeah. And that's how I realized that Jess is a guide for me as well. And she's bringing magical things into my life. Because that's all I wanted. I wanted to know whether she was there. I couldn't see her, and now she's made it known. And I should have realized that when I got our mascot Millie, and she's brought Millie into our lives, also on the channel. And my current wishes for the future are for all of us to be able to feel true joy again. Talking about the lockdown, I think. The world is a heavy place right now, true, and I feel that every day my own wishes for the future are for my two teenagers to grow up happy and fulfilled, and to share their immense light with others around them. How beautiful is that? And I think that's what every mother wishes for their children to do, to grow up feeling happy and fulfilled. And now, please let me know what I can send to you. I don't want anything because I've got everything. I've got my taxi tarot, and I've back onto the taxi forums and platforms, and making friends through Facebook, and inspiring other taxis to get the deck or follow me, and when I use the deck, and to get into contact and talk doggies. So if you have a doggy or if you have a cat, then go to the website or the page on whatchamacallit, on Facebook, and it's called Shirley's Paws. Well, you've got the page Sheila Paws and Sheila's Paws Cafe and Sheila Paws Angels. So that is for the dogs, and the other two are for the humans. So if you want to do talking about dogs or taxis or any other animals, go to those pages on Facebook. And they're very friendly people, and they do have motivational sections as well, like what you're going to do on Monday or Tuesday. And I'm just on the page now, and let's have a look. For today she has, and I love Sheila Paws Angels because of Charlie's Angels, of course. And let's have a look what she's got today. I have to go to discussion, and it says Rescue Me Monday, and then you see a dog and his owner walking, and I can and I will is the saying for next Monday. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this interview that I've done with Melissa Witherspoon, and that is Stella, and Stella is also on the back of the book. And when I did the review, I forgot to show you the photo. That is Stella. Don't you think she's gorgeous? I think she's gorgeous. And they can look so inquisitive and asking and reassuring. And I just love the deck, and I hope a lot of you, if not all of you, have got a deck as well, because it's such a lovely deck. Besides the deck, this is another one I love, again from Elvis the dog, and that is by Emily Carding, and he's got a sense of humor. He really cracks me up. And this as well, the stories in this book, and every card has a name or is referred to a dog. It's definitely in the Big Arcana, and I thank Melissa for collaborating with me, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. And take care, stay safe, and be blessed. Please like and share. To all the dog lovers and animal lovers, I love you. I couldn't do without my animals or my cyber angels. So take care and stay safe. Bye bye.